Now, there are still so many overhangs, especially with regards to tariff, what's going to come about between US China on the sidelines of their London meetings and negotiations. Who better than Swaminathan Aiyar, consulting editor at ET Now, joining in right now to give us his insights on exactly that. Swami, good morning. Good to have you. Well, the official word so far is that US China trade talks details were limited on Monday. I mean, they're saying that US is willing to remove restrictions on some tech exports in exchange for China easing limits on rare earth shipments. But nothing has really happened. Swami, is it going to be too hopeful or too optimistic to think that everything is going to be eased out on the sidelines of these London meetings?
The London meetings may not clinch it, but you have to see that there was a 90-day pause on April 2nd. That deadline is now not very far off. And no big deals have been clinched by Mr. Trump except with Britain. So I think right now they're getting a little uneasy and willing to give way. Because of that, in the USA, there is this new thing called TACO, standing for Trump always chickens out. So Mr. Trump the dragon suddenly becoming Trump the chicken who chickens out. And again on a number of things, he is now going relatively easy because I think he wants to clinch something before those 90 days, all the important things. But others are saying that this is the case. And therefore, while earlier people were willing to say, Baba, this madman has to be appeased, just appease him. The Chinese stood up when Trump increased the import tariff by 125%, so did they. And ultimately, Trump had to back down on that and has backed down on various things. So on the one hand, this means that some kind of deals are definitely more possible. It also means that every country, including India, we have an incentive not to give way very easily. We have an incentive to say, China stood up and it was rewarded. If all of us stand up, then we have this guy who, from being a dragon, now is beginning to chicken out on various deals. So let us talk tough, let us act tough. So that is the global position right now. For the very fact that the Americans say they are willing to ease the restrictions on high-end chips in return for the rare earths is a sign of chickening out in a big way. Let us see if that actually happens. But as I said, we all have an incentive now to act tough because Mr. Trump is very keen on reaching deals with the major countries before the 90-day deadline. Let us see what happens. As I said, I would look for last-minute developments rather than anything right now, despite the talks in London.
Okay, Swami sir, morning. This is Nehi also joining in. Given that with everything happening between US and China and within the US economy itself, you also have the matter of the rare earth metals that's looming on everybody's head, and not only these two countries. Give us a sense of where India stands amid this storm. Do we stand to benefit from supply chains potentially shifting out of China and towards other EMs? And also we understand that we do have enablers to manufacture our rare earths, but we're at a very nascent stage. So what's your take on that as well?
Well, for any country, all across the world, major countries have suddenly realized, my God, I'm so dependent on China. It hadn't occurred to them in the days when globalization was proceeding apace, that you suddenly become so dependent on one single source. The United States has a bill of $439 million to promote its own supply chain of rare earths. We have begun, but it will take a long time. And frankly, we do not have very good domestic prospects. It will be more like trying to diversify our sources from other places. But the fact is that right now, our auto industries and smartphone industries are both complaining that the supply chain is becoming very strained stocks of rare earths and permanent magnets are coming down to dangerous levels. And if this does not reach some kind of quick conclusion, they may have to reduce production from June onwards. They are all hoping that, this 90-day deadline of Trump, if it results in a certain Chinese easing with the USA, maybe it will result in USA easing with India and other countries as well. I do not know. India has made it very clear that Sino-Indian relations must not be mixed up with Sino-US relations. So, that's one good thing. On the other hand, it also means while we can bargain, while we don't have to worry as much about China hitting us as the US has, it also means we have less leverage to use the USA to get things done for us. So let's see. I think China is keeping a very large number of countries on a tight leash to prove how strong a position it is in. And it knows very well that while all the other countries want to get other sources of supply, it's going to take some time. And therefore, China is going to have the upper hand in this deal, not just in what happens in the next month or so, but even in the next year, in the next 2 years. So this is going to be an interesting Chinese lever that it may use again and again. As of now, let's see, that 90-day deadline is approaching, and let us see whether the USA and China manage to do a deal. Once that happens, I think there will be a lot of relief the world over, and people saying, okay, things are not as bad as they are. The guy has chickened out once again. Let's see.
But Swami, sir, things are really turning out to be bad between Elon Musk and Donald Trump, at least what their social media handles do suggest. And finally, that bromance seem to be coming to an end. But help us understand that what do you make out of that? Because some experts are even highlighting and anticipating that it is possible that both the parties come along and once again join and shake hands. But what's your sense on that? Because for now, in the latest commentary, we see that Donald Trump calls Starlink a good service, but the tensions between both of them do remain. How do you see the landscape shaping up?
At this point, I think Trump is very keen on doing deals within that 90 days thing. That's why, people are accusing him of chickening out. From starting with a very, very tough stance, he has given way again and again. So I would hope that a number of deals will be concluded within that 90-day deadline, but by no means all. I would also add that there is an incentive for every country like India to drag its feet. The key question is what will happen after the 90 days? Will Trump once again impose what he called those reciprocal tariffs of different rates from 26% to much, much higher rates all over the world? Is he going to reimpose them? As of now, that does not seem to be his intention. He keeps saying, I'm hoping for deals. If those deals don't happen, are we going to see another phase of Trump saying, now I am going to act tough? Because if you suddenly get reciprocal tariffs coming back after 90 days, then, all this optimism that you're seeing in the markets right now, it will disappear like a whiff of smoke. And all kinds of dire predictions will come again. Right. So we don't know what is going to happen. However, the longer term prediction, I would say, please let nobody think that the 90 days is going to be the end. I think Mr. Trump is going to continue to use the tariff lever for 4 full years. It is not over in 90 days. So whatever relief you may take after 19 days, don't think this is the end of the tariff thing. He is a believer in tariffs. He really thinks that tariffs are the solution and not a problem. And while in the short term, he may say, okay, I'll chicken out here, I'll chicken out there. The chicken will come back again and again and again. I do not think you are going to have any kind of safety or security in the next 4 years. So in the long run, watch out.
Right. But Swami sir, what about the big, beautiful breakup now between Musk and Trump. What are the implications of that?
Well, I have to say that, Mr. Musk has been revealed as a greedy, money-grabbing guy. I mean, the thing he mainly disagrees with is, among other things, is that his own pocket is going to be burned by some of the clauses in this bill. Some of the huge amount of subsidies that he has been getting, that some of the tax breaks that buyers of electric vehicles have been getting, if all that is taken away, it will hurt him very substantially. And people really think this is the big thing that's going behind. In any case, I do not think Mr. Trump is famous for having permanent allies. I mean, even in the case of Iran, he turned around and said, we can do a deal with them. And when people was astonished, he says, we have no permanent enemies. In the case of Musk, he can also say, we have no permanent friends. As long as Mr. Musk was willing to spend millions of dollars on helping Trump to get elected, or as long as he was willing to ride on some of the slashing of expenditure, that part of the bandwagon, Trump was with him. The moment he got out of line, the moment that he ceased to be as important as he thought he was, I think he went into a sulk. And, Mr. Musk is welcome to go into a sulk, but Mr. Trump is the guy who has the trump cards. So this was going to happen at some point of time. And I would say that nobody should ever believe that Trump has permanent friends. If you look at his first term itself, many of the people he appointed to top posts were sacked. And he has sacked people all over the place. In the TV program called The Apprentice, yes, the favorite line was,
You're fired.
Yeah. Okay, so Mr. Musk should not be surprised.
That's politics, and two big egos never make for a great relationship. But Swami, what about India? We've got a great mix going on here. You've got lower inflation, now lower EMIs after the big bazooka from RBI, lower taxes, back in the budget, and now good monsoons as well. You think it's a good mix for India markets to, stay up?
People are talking about the big bazooka and the big cut. To me, this is a preparation for a possible recession. So they are doing a counter-cyclical thing now itself. Just a month ago, I would say there were people rating chances of a recession extremely high. Now those chances may be a little less, but just wait for the end of the 90-day pause. Let us see what happens about this reciprocal traffic. Let us see how many trade deals are done. Because if it doesn't get done fairly quickly, we will indeed slip into a recession. From that point of view, Mr. Malhotra can say, well, look, I am taking advance action. I can see the possibility of a recession. So this is counter-cyclical policy being taken at a very appropriate time. That, I think, will be his defense. There are some people accusing him of being too gung-ho. The Financial Times in London has said, hey, just take it easy. Why are you cutting so badly? After all, you still have these problems and things are there. I agree. We have our problems, but one of those problems is going to be a possible coming recession. And as a counter-cyclical thing against that recession, I think the RBI governor's aggression can be justified at this particular point. It's a bold move, but boldness might pay.
How things play out. But Swami sir, great to get in your insights as always. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Well, for now, though, equity markets seem to be cheering that front-loading by the RBI. We've been holding out well, and right now, too, the Nifty implied open is straight away moved up to that 20